Hey, fans, viewers, and listeners. Welcome to another exciting episode of Fight Insight Podcast. Our guest for today is Chris Taco Padilla, who made his UFC debut this past Saturday. Also, we will talk about Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. Who do you guys think will win this bout? All that and more. So, Tim, hit it! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Fight Insight Podcast.
Ringside Raine, we are back. Our first guest has no-showed on us. This is 3 weeks in a row that our first guest has no-showed, but thank God we have another guest coming later in the show.
I know, I'm excited. I feel like third time is a charm, so maybe next week our guest will show up.
I mean, yes, that one. Okay, our guest next week has been booked weeks in advance. That is one of the world's leading body language experts, Mark Bowden. You've seen him on this podcast way back in season 1, so which means nobody saw that episode. But he was incredible. He's a world-renowned body language expert. He has a show on Dr. Phil's new network, Merit Street, called The Behavior Panel, I believe. And they analyze people's body language and stuff like that. So we're going to talk to him about fighter body language. Really what I want to ask him, Raine, aside from like for you and I on how to be better presenters, what should fighters be doing on their social media to grow their social media, and how can you engage with your audience better?
Yeah, because that's like a big thing for fighters, because it's not just about, there's so many fighters, right? But I think the main thing is like, how do you connect with the fans? Because at the end of the day, there should be that type of like unspoken language between the fighters in the cage and then like the people who are watching you, because that's how you get the following. That's how you get people to, be interested in your story and follow you as a fighter throughout your career.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it really is. And like, aside from, no offense, kids, close your ears, aside from taking your top off, right? Like there are some UFC fighters that are going a little bit crazy now. Right? There's if you look up Marina Moroz, she recently got some surgery, and her Instagram is just her just going bloop, 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 bloop. For those not on video, bloop, 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 bloop means what you think it means, right? And
Tim just took his top off if you're not watching this on video.
Yeah. But like, like it gets a little crazy, and that girl has a husband too, but I do feel bad because I feel like some fighters are put in a position where you have to do that in order to get an audience. So, let's hope that that's not reality for a lot of people. But what about the guys? The guys aren't doing that stuff. So, I mean, male fighters, social media is just as important. You got to figure out some way to connect with your audience. So anyways, we're going to talk to Mark Bowden about that. And we're going to see how that goes. In terms of Friends of the Podcast update, I also do want to say congratulations on a fantastic UFC career to Mr. Brian Bam Bam Barberena.
Woohoo!
Yeah. He has announced that he did not re-sign with the UFC. We know that his contract was extended before. He fought it out. They are not re-signing him because they put him up against shitty people, Raine. You don't put Brian Bam Bam Barberena up against stupid grapplers for 3 fights in a row. It's just stupid. It's not good for the fans. It's not good for anybody. So, I'm upset with the fights that he was given. I'm upset with how it all went down. But here's what's crazy, Raine. He said to me before that had his contract expired, and he said this on the podcast, he said, had his contract expired and lapsed, he was just going to quit and go away. However, after BKFC Knucklemania 4, there's Brian Bam Bam Barberena tweeting that he wants to fight the king of violence, Mike Perry.
Ooh.
I mean, make that fight. Make that fight. Brian Bam Bam Barberena versus Mike Perry. That's a great fight. Line it up and let's see those guys just murder each other to death. Yeah, I mean, Bam Bam is my best friend in the whole wide world. I don't want him to die, but I want to see a nasty war, and I think that Bam Bam could really bring the war to Mike Perry.
Yeah, that'll be a good fight to see. And it's what's great about knowing when your time is up or when you're supposed to like move on to the next thing for you, or just knowing when you should retire. I feel like it's good when fighters or just people in general recognize that, because it's like they kind of, you don't want to go because you got injured or you can't fight anymore. I think it's good to kind of like know, okay, you know what? I've accomplished what I want to accomplish at this place, this company. Now it's time for something else.
Yeah. Now let's talk about, you're right. Speaking about people that don't know better, Raine.
Oh God.
Arman Tsarukyan. Okay. This freaking guy, for those that don't remember, he fought at UFC 300. He beat Charles Oliveira. On his way to the cage, something happens and you see him like rush at a fan kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then the security kind of like fumbles him around and brings him back. You don't really think anything else of it. He's now been fined by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, and he has been fined 20% of his purse, which equated to $31,600. And the reason is because the guy in the stands apparently gives him the middle finger, and Arman goes to clock the dude. In the post-fight, he's quoted as saying, "He showed me fuck you," like, the finger, and he wanted to punch me, and I wanted to punch him back. That's it. So guys, no one show me fuck you. It doesn't matter who you are. I'm going to punch you in the face.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, Raine, thoughts, comments?
Well, first of all, I feel like, I feel bad for, fighters who would get cursed at, or who would, like what happened to Arman, right? Because it's like, how do you respond to that, right? Because first of all, you're like, you are under, a microscope, basically, because people can see you. And what's sad is that sometimes fans feel like they are entitled to just do whatever because they paid for their ticket, and, on top of that, what if they're drunk, right? So now they get more like obnoxious, and then they would think, oh, it's okay to treat this person this way, he won't fight back, whatever. And when they do, it's like, okay, wait a minute, you realize they're real people, they have emotions, they also want respect.
Yes.
Could it be handled a little better? Yes. But at the end of the day, Arman, he's just a human being, and if he's provoked, especially a fighter, when you provoke a fighter, I feel like that's like something that you don't want to do, because you don't know how they're going to respond. And if he's like in fight mode, he's just ready to go. He has all that energy in him. Anything that would probably trigger him to just like go, he would just do it. I guess he got taught a lesson, right? By having to pay that fine. I don't know if the fan got, I don't know. Did the fan get any?
No.
Yeah, that's a thing. It's like, and which is sad.
Okay, but hold on. If anything, you're lucky that the fan doesn't sue you now.
True.
I mean, here's the thing, though, Raine. It's so funny. We can just never agree on anything, which is why I love having you as co-host. But like, if you're at work, which is what Arman is, he's at work, you gotta think better. Like, you gotta like be a little bit more cognizant of what you're doing, right? Like, I think there's a big difference, because if I'm at work at my desk job and someone gives me the middle finger and I slap them, right? I give them an old Stockton slap. I know I'm going to face repercussions, not just from the person, but from my employer. And in this case, that's what the Nevada State Athletic Commission does. Like, now they fine him. If it happens outside when you're not at work, okay, now it's just me and that guy. I mean, that guy still has the same possibilities of repercussion to me if he wants to sue me or do whatever. But at least I'm not going to be impacted in my job, possibly. I do think, Arman, you can't be doing that, dude, to people while you're fighting. I mean, what happens if the minute he goes to throw that punch, what if something happens? What if someone cuts him or he bangs something and then you can't fight? I mean,
True,
that would
I
have
see
been
your point. Yeah.
crazy. Like, you got to be careful. You're a professional, and I know you're heated. And to the fans, yes, you got to be careful. You can't be too crazy either. But look, man, you're walking to the cage. You're fighting a legend in Charles Oliveira. You know people are going to be against you. They're going to be booing you. They're going to be. You got to somehow figure out how to deal with that. Like, that's a mental thing. You can't you can't snap like that.
I see what you're saying. I do. I just hope that there's going to be because I know in the NBA when fans get all like disrespectful to the athletes, the NBA actually would ban like the fans who would do that to the athletes. Right. I don't know if either ban or like not, or kick them out of the game, something like that. I just hope that there's something like that in the UFC or in combat sports world in general, because like I said, when fans go to these events, some of them could have too much to drink and then they'd feel like, hey, I can fight this dude. When in reality, it's like, no, dude, it's the liquid courage that's making you feel like you're a fighter too.
Yes. So I've learned two things. One, if you go to the next fighting event, do not boo Raine or she will pimp slap you to the next week, right? Like Raine's not taking it. And here, the fan's name is Obed Ardon, and he told Bloody Elbow, I'd like to apologize to Arman for provoking him by flipping him off. I was buzzing all day, and the moment got to me. It was my first time ever attending a UFC live event. It was incredible. I'm glad the incident wasn't as bad as it could have been. I do want to make clear, I didn't pull him towards me. I yell out offensive words or anything of that nature. I just flipped him off, nothing else. Congrats to Arman on a great performance and best of luck. I mean, that statement to me is also him preparing for a lawsuit because he's like, I didn't do anything. I just flipped him off. Now I'm going to sue you, right? Like he's definitely putting himself in a good position here too.
And that's kind of like bad too, because it's like, can you imagine people getting ideas now? Like, oh my God, like I can like get money from like provoking a fighter.
Well, see, and then we go down a whole terrible rabbit hole of potential nonsense, right? I'm putting on some very funny clips at the bottom here. Now, anyways, don't go to UNF and piss off Raine because she's totally happy with slapping a fan. So that's good. All right, Raine, this is totally insane. I want to make an official prediction, and I would like you to make your official prediction as well. It is here. Mike Tyson. Did you know that they have now indicated this is a sanctioned pro fight?
Oh,
Raine, it's a pro fight, Raine. It is sanctioned as a pro. First of all, what kind of idiots are sanctioning this? A 60-year-old man versus a 30-year-old lion. A 60-year-old man that was in a wheelchair a little while ago. Like, crazy.
Now, wait, this means that you're actually going to watch it, right? Because I remember you're like, oh, if it's just an exhibition, I probably won't watch it. Yes. So now I think they did this for you, Tim. So that way you watch.
Thank you, Netflix. You get my one extra view. Okay, Raine, prediction time. I want you to give me your prediction. I have my prediction, and as we know, I'm very right very often. Yeah. But go ahead with your prediction for this. And this is ad hoc. No, you didn't know this was happening, so I appreciate it, but go ahead.
So for me, my prediction I'd hate to say this, but I probably think that Jake Paul would win because judging by the tail of the tape, right? Age-wise, it's just, I just think it's going to be Jake Paul. Now, who do I really want to win? Of course, I want Mike Tyson to win.
No, we're asking for your prediction, Raine. So.
No, exactly. So I think it will be Jake Paul.
And how does he win and in what round? I think it's an 8-round fight.
Okay. 8-round fight. Oh God. Oh, you know what? I think till the 8th round, actually, and then it'll probably going to be a split decision.
Oh,
That's what
okay.
I'm going to go for. Because
Okay.
let me tell you something. Because even though Mike Tyson is like twice the age of Jake Paul, right?
Mhm.
He's still Mike Tyson. He's a
Yeah,
legend.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
You know, we're not just like calling a guy up who's never done boxing, who I mean, he's an athlete. At the end of the day, he's an athlete. He's
Yeah.
built to like fight. And I don't think his
Okay.
body will just forget to fight. So I feel
Yeah.
like I think Jake Paul would win. I think it will make it to whatever round it will be, like the final round, 8 rounds or
Yeah.
whatever. I think it will make it to the final round, and Jake Paul will win via split decision.
Okay. And no funny business. You think this is a legit fight? You think
I
they are
think
trying?
so. I think so. I
Okay.
always believe that everything's legit. So
Raine, I'm going to tell you the truth now.
we
Okay.
just lost some listeners right now when I said that, by the way.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you the truth now, Raine. And I'm sorry that you're going to have to hear this. I'm sorry to everybody listening that's going to have to hear this. The fight is 8 2-minute rounds using 14-ounce gloves. Okay. Here's the thing, Raine. This fight is fake. It's rigged. Mike Tyson is going to win in the 5th or 6th round by body shot TKO KO.
Okay. I like that.
I think that the fix is in. I think that Mike Tyson agrees to this, but says, I'm not losing to you. I'm not going to give up my legacy. I think Jake Paul is going to go, I'm going to go 5-6 rounds against one of the best in the world, the best to ever do it. And I'm going to gain the respect of the fans by getting in there against Tyson. But I am going to lose because if I win, there will be too many questions as to how I won. It's going to look funny. It's going to look weird. And I think that there's no way that these guys are actually fighting.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
So right here, I'm saying on today, April 30th, Jake Paul wins. Oh, sorry.
Mike Tyson.
Scratch this. Today, April 30th, I am predicting Mike Tyson will beat Jake Paul by body shot KO in the 5th or 6th round.
Okay.
Done.
I like that prediction. I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like Jake Paul is the winner no matter what, whether he wins or loses.
That's why. That's why he will agree to lose because he's still going to get the clout of going in there against Mike Tyson, against challenging himself against one of the best in the world to ever do it.
Yeah,
and
true.
and that's why this is going to go down that way, because Timmy B said so. Can I also say, Raine? Wait, do you have anything else to say on this, Mike Tyson?
No. I just like that you picked Mike Tyson and I picked Jake Paul. I mean, personally for me, I mean, I'm picking Mike Tyson too, but if we're going off of like predictions,
yeah. I think, and then here's the thing, Raine. Last week on the podcast, we were talking about all those sad Instagram posts.
Yeah.
The person that we were talking about, the person that I was talking about, you knew who I was talking about. The person that I was talking about that had posted all those sad things pulled out of their fight 2 days after we recorded that podcast. The signs were there, Raine. Those sad posts, those cries for help that we talked about on last week's episode, it was real. She pulled out of her fight 2 days after that. We recorded that, and her opponent is pissed. Really pissed, because it was going to be the main event of a card, and now that screws over that girl, blah, blah, blah. And that girl is now laying allegations going, you never wanted to fight. You were never ready to fight, blah, blah, blah. And so sure enough, there's some drama there.
Yeah, that's sad. That's sad. Unfortunate. But, that's like the reality of this sport, right? I always go back to what Gianni told us in his interview with us, wherein this is not just a physical sport. This is also a mental game.
Yep.
And there's a lot that goes on when you're training. You change your diet, you train hard and your body feels weak, then you feel strong, and then it's just like, and then you get close to your fight day, and then all of these outside things like make you think of different things. Will I win? What's going to happen to me? Am I going to get injured? You get anxious, and it's a lot. It's a lot. It's not just about
I know.
It's not just about showing up in the cage. There's a lot that goes into that moment. And, when fighters go through, some emotional hurdles or mental hurdles, even physical ones.
Yep.
Yeah, I really do feel bad because, like I said, at the end of the day, we're all human, and this is just the reality of the sport and of life too. We're in
exactly.
You can keep training, you can keep preparing yourself, but at the end of the day, it's like sometimes there are things that you can't control, and things like that happen.
That's why you got to keep a level head. You got to keep good people around you. You got to do all that good stuff. But and we'll talk about it with our guest that's coming on very soon, like any moment now. You should be texting him actually because he's not here. It's like a couple of minutes. But we'll talk about it with him because that's a guy that had to have his mind 100% set. But yeah, aside from that, the last thing that maybe we would talk about while we wait for our guest now is, of course, Conor McGregor owning a part of BKFC. What the hell does this mean? Like, I don't even understand what it means in reality. Like, okay, he buys into it and he's a part owner, but like, what does this mean in terms of like what influence he has on the business? Mind you, a business that is doing very, very well. BKFC is a very powerful brand that has done everything the right way, Raine. I think they're a lot smarter than PFL. I think they're a lot smarter than ONE FC. I think they've grown at a reasonable pace to maintain profitability. Of course, I don't know their bank statements, but I'm assuming that they're doing well with how they're growing, and they're not growing too fast, right? They're not getting too big for their britches, as old people will say. So they seem to be growing at a reasonable path. Now Conor buys in. Does he suddenly start taking control of things? I would assume not. Are we thinking BKFC is just going to get bigger because Conor will continue to promote?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think will be it's one thing to say his impact will be positive, fine. But what do you think happens when Conor owns this company? Like what differences do we see, or how does this work?
Well, I feel like, as a part owner, right? You know how like when athletes become part owners of like teams that, they like, or teams that they used to play for, or even just like a sport that they want to support, or a company that they want to support. And I think this is what's happening here. I feel like Conor sees BKFC as a future, as part of the future of this sport. And I think he felt like, oh God, UFC is like its own like brand now, biggest brand in the MMA world. They have a huge following. And I think in Conor's mind, how can I help the sport to kind of grow even bigger, right? And I think he was thinking of, you know what, let me support another league that's like growing in the combat sports world, become a part owner of it, and then see where it goes.
Okay, but hold on. But you just like every article I read is just giving me like fluff words.
Of what? That he wants to support BKFC?
No, but like what does he do? Like what does owning it do? Like
I don't know, maybe like funding. One would definitely be funding, I guess, like putting money into it. I mean,
but is an owner different than an investor?
I think I don't know
the
logistics. I don't know the logistics, but
no, but
I feel like both would mean investing money into, right?
No, but based on the wording, I mean, like we hear about companies getting investors.
Mm-hmm.
We hear about ONE FC getting investors from Qatar or Saudi, and we hear about PFL getting investors from Saudi groups and stuff like that. But Conor is an owner, which would mean to me you're essentially, he'd be paying, let's say, David Feldman, the owner, you'd be giving him some money for his share of the business, but that doesn't go to the business. That goes to Feldman for his ownership part. So Conor being an owner doesn't put money into the company. Like, it doesn't increase the company's pot of money. He's buying ownership of it. So like now you've got to like do something to drive the business to get better.
Mm-hmm.
And what does that mean? I don't understand how Conor can make it bigger. I'm a little bit confused how that works.
Well, I guess like for me, whether he's an investor or, like an owner, whatever he is, right? He's part of BKFC. I think that's like the main idea.
Right.
That he's part of BKFC. People who probably didn't know that BKFC existed, now they're like, oh my God, what is this thing that Conor McGregor just did? He bought ownership at this company called BKFC. What is that? Now they start looking it up and they're like, oh my God, they do these shows. Oh, they have these events. Is Conor McGregor going to show up at this event coming up, at BKFC? Oh my God, we should probably buy tickets and check it out. I think it's just more than just, being an owner, investor, putting money into this. I think for Conor, it's like helping BKFC become like a stronger name in the combat sports world. Because I think he sees the value of it.
Now, I believe when I was researching, I think BKFC is the fastest growing combat sport in the world. And of course, if you think bare knuckle, you think BKFC.
Mm-hmm.
And again, they did that without Conor. So I just don't know. And if you wanted Conor to promote, I mean, you could pay him to promote.
Exactly.
Right?
But now he himself is the owner, part owner. So it's like now they don't need to pay him to promote.
Oh, I see. So what you're saying is if he's the owner, he benefits by the business growing.
Mm-hmm.
So now he's going to do everything to grow it. So
So
even if that just means he goes out on publicity tours about the company, that's still super good for BKFC because they're like, holy crap, now we don't have to pay him because he's just making money based on the ownership aspect. Okay. I don't know. I think it's such a strange thing. Now, here's the question. Is Dana angry? Should he be?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't think he should be angry. I mean, he might be like, oh my God, what just happened? Right? I don't think he should be angry. I think it depends, right? Some people crave for competition. Some people don't want competition. So I don't know which one Dana is, right? But I think, if I was him, this is good, right? Because it's like competition for the brand and for the sport, it's good because it's like, it means that the sport is growing, right? There's other options for like people, just, go watch MMA. But yeah, I mean, I do see how he might be angry because like, obviously Conor McGregor, he's a big star in the UFC, right? And now he owns BKFC. I don't think Dana's angry. I think he's just, oh, okay, this happened.
I mean, Raine is like, again, way too nice, number one. But we disagree as always. I think Dana like had 7 heart attacks and 3 strokes.
Oh
when that
no!
announcement came out, because I think you're like, what the frig, dude? The name Conor McGregor is supposed to be synonymous with UFC. Mm-hmm. When you think Conor McGregor, you think UFC. Like that's the way you want people to think. He goes and does the Amazon movie Roadhouse. Like you want people to go, oh, the UFC star Conor McGregor is in this movie. You don't want them to go, the owner of BKFC is in this movie, right? Like, yeah, you right. I think Dana is furious. I don't think this does anything for him. You only ever see UFC fighters going to BKFC. We've never seen it the opposite, I don't believe. I don't think we've ever seen a bare knuckle fighter come to UFC. So the BKFC growing in popularity doesn't do anything for Dana because those stars will never bring their star power to you. We keep giving up our star power to BKFC. So they feed off UFC's popularity, not the other way around. And now I think now you've just taken our friggin' superstar Conor McGregor and his name is now attached to you. And not only that, but it's attached in a very financial way. So like now he definitely wants BKFC to be potentially better than UFC because he owns it. I don't know. It's like such a weird thing. I haven't seen any comments from Dana. I haven't seen anything like that. I mean, again, it's, hey, what I do outside is what I do outside. But we've talked about this before where we say like employees of PFL or Bellator, when they're on their podcast and they always talk about UFC fighters. And I've made mention before going, I think you guys should just talk about your own fighters. Like,
yeah,
I think you got to like, even though it's in your own time, I still think you need to focus on, you know, the gift horse, right? Or whatever the term is, right? Don't kick a gift horse in the mouth, whatever the friggin' term is.
I don't know.
Anyways, whatever. You know, stay with who brought you to the dance. Whatever phrase you want to use. But like, it seems weird to me that he owns it and cuts a promo in the middle of Knucklemania 4. And I just, I don't know. I think Dana would be furious.
I mean, what if, Conor has been looking for that opportunity to become a part owner of something, right? And there was never an opportunity at UFC for him. And then this thing showed up at BKFC. And then he was like, oh, you know what? I've always wanted to own something, right? Like a sports league or sports team or whatever. And this opportunity popped up for BKFC. At a price that for him, probably just nothing for him because he's like a super rich guy, but he saw the value. It's like finding this like random stock, right? And you're like, okay, it's cheap right now, but you believe in it, and then you buy this stock, you buy this, cryptocurrency and, it takes off and then I know your money afterwards. So,
I know. I get it. I'm just saying it's weird. There's a part of me that thinks like that someone can't be happy. And like, hey, you want to go buy a drink brand? You want to go buy into Gatorade? You want to go, into movies? You want to do any of that stuff? That's cool. But BKFC is borderline a direct competitor with our product. It's a tough one. Like when some fighters, like they had allegiances to different beers and stuff like that. And then when Coors Light is the sponsor of UFC, some fighters that go, I don't like Coors Light, I like my beer or whatever. Okay. Yeah, it's a little bit different, right? But we're talking about another combat sport organization. So it's a toughie. I don't know. All right. Where's our guest, Raine? Did he message back?
I messaged him. I don't see. I don't see it. It says that he's active a minute ago. It doesn't show that it's been seen. Normally he puts hearts on my messages. He put a heart on the StreamYard link.
Okay.
So let's hope that he's logging in right now. And
let's hope. In the meantime, let me play you this clip, Raine. It's good that I have all these like old things that I was saving up for dead air. Here's this, Raine. Hold on. Let me move this banner out of the way. Okay, hold on. I'm going to put this title up. I studied hard my whole life for this.
Oh God, what is
Raine? That is what this girl is thinking, who is, there's a few people in the video I'm about to show you. This was from 2 weeks ago. Ryan Garcia before his boxing fight. This was his change room, Raine.
Maybe the final song before the crash and burn. It's either the Titanic or to Hannibal Lecter and Tyson to the left. Either way, man.
Did you see that when that happened? Did you see the clips of that?
No.
Oh, okay. You don't know. Okay. So what? Okay, explain for people that were not on video. What did we just witness?
It was like Ryan Garcia, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell the face. I didn't really see the face because I was focusing more on the instruments in the background.
Yeah. So this is in his change room before his fight that just took place. He has like an opera, or no, what do you call it? Like an orchestra.
Yeah, there's like violins
and cellos, and they're playing that music.
Yeah.
And this was all part of apparently the story that, Garcia was pretending that he's gone insane. But so he has this like string orchestra playing in his dressing room. All I could think of, Raine, as an Asian male, is, as you are Asian as well yourself, when we're young and our parents are like putting us into music or piano or whatever and like beating the crap out of you to go do your music lessons or your math lessons or whatever, to study hard. You're going to become a great musician. You're going to play in the greatest music concert halls of all time. You must keep doing it, give up all your friends and everything, and study, only for these people to play in Ryan Garcia's change room before his boxing fight, like a lunatic. I was just dying laughing. Like, I just thought about those people that had studied their whole lives, and next thing you know, they're contracted out to play in this crazy boxing guy's dressing room before he fights. I just thought, freaking hilarious.
They probably got paid big bucks though. They were on TV, right?
Yeah,
for what, 10 minutes of playing music. They probably got paid a lot of money to do that. So there you go. You got paid what, a year's worth of your salary?
Yeah, of course.
For doing 10 minutes of work.
Yeah,
that's
there's
good.
Positive Raine again. Raine, that girl's parents, are they proud of her?
Sure. I think so. I mean, after she gives them, she takes him out, to a nice dinner. Hey, I just got paid.
Yeah. All I had to do was play for this lunatic in this change room, and I got paid so much money. I mean, I was just so funny, and I'm just thinking, like, can you just give me 1 inch of this, Raine, and just say, like, there's a possibility that the parents are like, what the hell have you done? You have insulted the family name. All those lessons we gave you for violin, and now you're playing in a boxing event. What are you doing? I just so hilarious. But did you follow along that story about how Ryan Garcia says like everything was a joke? Like when he was pretending to be insane, pretending to be on drugs, he said he was like he was saying like every time like he'd be doing interviews and going like to pretend like he was on cocaine or stuff.
Oh my God.
Apparently the whole thing was like a total work, and that he was doing it all to like trick his opponents and the fans and the betting line, because apparently he bet $2 million on himself. But by him doing all the weird things, people were really thinking that the other guy was going to win, so the betting line started to shift in favor of his opponent, in which case his bet became better. Interesting.
That's crazy. Yeah.
We know that like in UFC, you can't bet on yourself. None of your friends or family can bet. Like there's like a whole bunch of rules around that. But like that would be like the same thing, right? Like if you're a UFC fighter, you're just going to start pretending to go crazy. Let the betting lines go against you, and then you bet big on yourself, knowing that you've like just tricked everyone.
I don't like that. Because it doesn't make, I don't know. To me, it's like, I don't know. To me, that's when you're trying to like rig the fight.
Yeah, I'm not keen on it either, because I just think like just the overall
like principle of it.
The honor and the respect of the sport.
Yeah.
Like, why would you be doing that? Like, you should just be trying to win of your own accord.
Yeah. Taco just read the message.
All right.
Says
All right. But it's an interesting thing. I mean, like, like where does that line of honor take you? Right?
Yeah. Said he's coming.
He said he's coming?
Mm-hmm. I just sent a message. Coming. I said, sounds good.
Wait, so he's 23 minutes late, this guy.
He must have. I wonder if he was training,
It's good that he wasn't 23 minutes late for his fight. I mean, I do have some questions for this guy, I'll tell you. I watched the fight. I was surprised they never mentioned UNF once.
No, they mentioned his last bout at UNF against Justin James.
But they didn't say it was UNF. They just said
they just said somewhere in the regional, something like that.
And they didn't. Yeah, and when they showed clips, it wasn't from UNF. It was from other fights. Now he's been with UNF for like 3 fights, I think. So like the clips they showed were older. So I wonder what that's all about. And I was like, wait a second, this guy's the UNF champion. Like he's a champion of a league. Like I just thought it was strange that they didn't talk about that.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I wonder if he knows why they wouldn't say it, because you would think like it's something to be proud of.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder if it's kind of like one of those things where they don't mention other MMA promotions, right? Because that becomes like at that point, that's like a line we're in. Okay, now we're promoting your promotion, right? By mentioning UNF or whatever other promotions out here in California or just in general, it's like they're promoting that promotion.
Well, I don't know. Let's ask him because he is here now, Raine. We are so excited. All right. Our guest today, thank God he is here, saves the show. He made his UFC debut on 5 days' notice this past weekend and won with a first-round submission over a man who was on a 12-fight win streak. Fighting since 2013. He now holds a record of 14-6 and is ready to put the lightweight division on notice. He is the technically he's the current reigning, but he is the former UNF Up Next Fighting lightweight champion. I mean, we are so happy to have him here, fresh off his victory. Raine, bring this man in.
Please welcome Chris Taco Padilla.
Hey, I recognize that sound.
Hey.
Hey, how y'all doing today?
How you doing,
how are you?
Chris?
Man, I'm doing good, man. I'm just finished eating some pho with the family, so that was super cool. Man, we're doing good, man. I'm blessed to, as you guys said, to have that experience this weekend. It was surreal, life-changing, and felt like a dream come true.
Taco, did your family make you pay for the meal?
You know what? To be honest, if I can keep it real, man, my family does. I mean, like this camp, I mentioned a little bit during my interviews, but I had to move this camp again. I had to move to I moved from Torrance to Westminster, and my family literally took care of everything. Like they did all the picking up, the lifting, the driving, everything. Literally, my brother treated me almost like a glass object. He was like, "Nope, we're lifting everything. Don't pick anything up. Just let us handle it." So for me, if it's like we watch each other's back, man. So I took care of the meal because I'm like, you know what, I owe you guys everything, man. You guys could have just said, "Nah, I'm busy," blah blah blah. Excuse, but they're always there for me in any time I need them. So yeah, I owe those guys everything, man.
Dude, I am so happy for you, man. Congratulations on your victory. Obviously, when you came in, you said you recognize the sound because, of course, you're the Up Next Fighting lightweight champion. You know Ringside Raine Cruz. She normally calls you into the ring. And, man, she told me that she was so excited for you. Of course, I was seeing your images on the Up Next Fighting pages, being so proud that you were making your UFC debut, man. 5 days notice. How is your mental status going into that? Does that make it easier because there's no time to stress?
You know what? To be honest, man, when I look at fighting, like the biggest thing I take from fighting is being intellectual with my fight. I'm a strategist. So I obviously, like, again, like any war, you want as much time to study the opponent, study the game, study the adversary, see what he has, what he does best, et cetera, and where you excel against him. So for me, it was like, okay, no time to study as much as I want. But on the flip side, I'm a full-time fighter. Like, when I wake up, I train. I leave training to go train more. Like, just like someone would do an 8-hour job, that's training for me. So it was like, once I saw his style, and mind you, this kid is good, man. This kid was good. Striker, he was good. When in his fights, when he was on top, he was doing good. When he was on the bottom, he was able to get back to his feet. So I was like, oh, this kid is good. I was like, okay, so this is not going to be a skill battle. This is going to be a strategist battle. This is going to be the person who can pull the other person's weapons and make them uncomfortable, pull them out of their comfort zone. So when I realized that, I was like, oh, I'm that guy. I know I'm that guy because I meditate on strategy all the time. So I knew that I could get him. Once I watched his tape, again, I have 5 days. So so when they first called me, they were like, okay, this is the offer, but we got to wait for him to accept. So I'm just like, damn it, man, I only have a week. So I gotta wait 2 days before he even says yes. I was like, whatever though, man. Again, it's a life-changing opportunity. So I was like, whatever. So I didn't watch his fights for like the first when I first got the opponent, I didn't watch any of his fights. I just kind of chilled out because when sometimes when fighting starts for me, I'm a little emotional. All the emotions going through. So once I let the emotions die down and my strategy self took over, I was like, okay, time to watch. I watched every one of his fights and I was like, okay, he definitely beat some guys with some big records. He beat good fighters, but I said a good fighter doesn't make it a smart fighter. And when I watched his opponents, I was like, no, they're not as smart as me. So when he faces me, he thinks he's going to get a guy who's focused on skill versus a guy who's intellectual, So I just pulled him apart piece by piece and first round
Finish, baby.
Yeah.
It was beautiful.
Easy too, man.
I do want to say you've got some of the best hair in the game.
Ooh, thank you, man. Thank you.
Your hair is fantastic. I want to ask you, your opponent was coming off the UFC Contender Series, right? Dana White Contender Series.
Yep.
For your career, did you think you were going to have to go through the Contender Series in order to get in, and are you happy that you didn't have to?
Man, to be honest, I thought I was gonna have to do everything, man. The way it was seeming, the way they were kind of, holding me back, and no fight there, okay, this and that. So I thought I was gonna have the Contender Series. Then I thought I was gonna have to win one, then come back, win again, and then after that, I thought I was gonna have to go through the Ultimate Fighter. Like, I thought I was gonna have to do everything, man. But for me, the reason I didn't want Contender Series is because I'm not really a kid at this anymore, man. Like, I'm not. What was he? 12 and or 14-2? I'm not 14-2, man. I fought guys. If you look at my record, man, if you look at all my losses, they're either to UFC guys, veterans, or to a PFL fighter. You know what I'm saying? So I've already fought the highest level, man. I asked any of those guys, man, no one's ever just beat me downright. It was always like, damn, we barely just got by Taco, So I didn't think I needed to, but I'm happy I got to beat up a Contender Series guy because, look, if you want to put me through Contender Series, this was supposed to be the star boy, and what did I do with him? One round, and not even a hard round. Me setting trap, and he fell into it. Like, he's a 24-year-old kid, man, and I remember being 24 and like brash, man, just wanting to scrap, wanting to get in there and just cause violence. and I'm not that guy no more. Like, I'm violent, but my violence comes with nuances and traps and setups. And there's so many things that go into how I commit violence. So, yeah, I didn't think I had to, but I knew I would have. But like I said, violence is violence, man. I would have did it either way.
Dude, it's crazy, man. I'm so happy for you. You know, I will say that I'm not a huge fan of the Contender Series because I feel like that always puts a lot of pressure on these guys to get that win there. And if you lose at the Contender Series, it's really weird because it seems like it might set you back a lot. I do like it when guys just get their shot in like you have. And I'll say a friend of the podcast that made it in the same way you did was the Maniac Marcus McGee.
Oh, yeah.
Also a guy who has very cool hair, by the way. So I don't know if that's a commonality.
Good luck.
It's definitely a thing.
He got a short notice fight into UFC and now has won 3 fights in a row, 3 bonuses in a row. Like, he's doing his thing. So I'm so happy for you. When you get this call up, do they give you a contract? Like, are you on a 4-fight contract? It wasn't just a 1-fight deal, right?
No, I got the 4-fight. Yeah.
4 fights?
All 4. Yeah, I got 4 fights. Yep. Awesome, man. Do
you need Raine to renegotiate the contract for you now that you're already did Raine call him up?
Hey, Raine, tell him I'm definitely worth more than they thought.
Yeah. Making the call right now.
Hey, thank you, Raine. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Taco, are you upset? Okay, here I was just a bit upset because obviously, you know, I'm in Toronto, Canada, and you know, Raine's been my co-host now for a long time, and so I'm a big UNF fan. So I'm always happy when you UNF guys make it. They never said that you're the UNF champion on the broadcast. Why do they not say that, Taco?
You know, man, if I can be honest, man, I think it's just one of those things where they're just kind of at the highest level, man. They just try to sun everybody, man. That, like, if I get, like, if you guys are big rap fans, it's just, that's like something that's real popular in rap, where they're just trying to sun you, make you feel like, that you did that, but it is what it is. Like, that, you got to prove yourself here. Like, you could be whatever champion you want, but you're not, you haven't done it here yet, you know? Okay. Yeah, I feel like it's one of those things. And if you're not on UFC Fight Pass, they don't really care to say, you know, give you your accolades, man. And for me, hey, man, you going. That's the thing. You don't gotta respect me, but you're gonna respect me. That's the whole thing. You don't have to, but you're going to, because one year I wasn't on Fight Pass. I wasn't one of those guys. But look what I did to a guy from Fight Pass. Look what I did. Again, look what I did to your guy who was supposed to be up next, man. I'm up next now, and I took all the juice he had, man, and now it's mine. And now I bet when they go on my Instagram and they see up next lightweight champion, they're like, oh, okay, these guys, they got something. These up next champions aren't just your local guys running around with belts, because I earned mine, man. I went through wars to win my belt and to defend my belt.
Defend it, yeah.
So, hey, man, you can say what you want, but the numbers don't lie, man.
That is correct. So, okay, so just to clear up any conspiracy theory that I was about to create, they didn't tell you, don't say you're the UNF champion. Like, they never said that to you, though.
No, I mean, no one's ever pressed me about it.
No, but they didn't tell you specifically, don't say it. Like, if you were in an interview backstage afterwards and you had said, yeah, man, I'm the former UNF lightweight champion, I'm so happy to be here, they wouldn't say like, whoa, don't say that.
I don't think so. But again, don't let me, I wouldn't even know. But I know they keep things, I know they can run a tight ship, but I don't think they would. But again, don't quote me on it, because I don't know.
Don't say anything. Don't say Timmy B told me to say this. I don't want to get in trouble.
Oh yeah, because that's the thing, man. When you're getting ready for this UFC, man, there's a lot of papers to sign. There's a lot of this, that.
I got a lot of fine print.
Yeah.
A lot of fine print. They're like trying to read.
Yeah, so much. I was like, literally, I think that was like the toughest part about getting ready for all this, was all the paperwork, all the this, all the that. I was like, man. they sure do their job, man. When they make sure that no, they're not just letting anybody in. Like, you have to pass. Like, you think you're going to work for the president, it feels like.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's bigger than the president, for God's sake. It's
Yeah, I mean,
bigger.
at this point, yeah.
Taco, I just have a few questions for you, if you don't mind, my friend. You're okay that we're asking you some questions?
Of course, man. Hit me.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't hear it on the broadcast, and I gotta ask, why Taco?
Man, Taco comes that's like a crazy funny story in its own, man. So me and my boys, man, when we were coming up in high school, we're ninth graders, about to go into 10th graders. We decided we wanted to be like Jackass kids. You know how Jackass was the biggest thing in our time. So we all like had our own names. My boy Monkey, Jay, Eduardo, Ezekiel, DeAndre. Like, we all had like our stupid nicknames. So I was like, Taco's gonna be mine. And then from there, man, we just did a bunch of Jackass-like shenanigans. And then, like, somehow, man, I just remember going into fighting. And then when they asked me, they're like, what's your nickname? And for me, I've never thought of Taco anything less than this kid who just does wild shit. And I stuck, man. And the other fighters kind of laughed at me because when I made my debut, that my nickname was Taco. And the only thing in my head was, oh, I'm going to give y'all a reason to laugh. Trust me. I don't know. I think food taco, and I'm thinking ass-whooping psychopath taco. So, yeah, that's the taco I think of. And it kind of, like sometimes life down the way kind of explains itself. The way I think about it, man, is I have a style of anything, man. Like, you can get anything in a taco, bro. I can come at you with anything. If I need to strike you, I'll strike you. If I need to elbow you, I'll elbow you.
Oh, hold on. So he got disconnected there.
Because I think he's driving. That's a cool story, though.
His audio started to go, and then I think he might be getting a phone call, because right now his screen is black. All right, you're back.
Yes, sir. Sorry, I vanished.
How's it going, my friend? All right. What were we saying? We were saying
about Taco.
Your nickname. And like your nickname, Crazy. So okay, yeah, you're a psychopath Taco. Pretty good. I like it. Raine, what did you want to ask the gentleman?
Oh God. So the last time I saw you was at UNF 18. I think you were cornering one of the fighters from CMMA. That was like Saturday. And the next thing I know, you announced like this, that you will be debuting at UFC. That was like, I think within like 2 days. When did you get the call and how did it all go down? Like, what were you doing? I feel like it all happened like really fast.
So pretty much, I signed with a new management team, and they said like, hey, you will get the call, but you have to take a fight for May. And I was like, okay, I'll take the fight in May. They said, if you win this, you're definitely in. But if something comes up in between, you could get that too. And I go, whatever. I always say, just point me in a direction and I will go in that direction. I won't turn left and I won't turn right. I always keep my eyes straight. Easy. So I go, okay, whatever. So then literally, as funny as it sounds, as I'm taking a dump, I'm chilling out on my phone. Manager calls me and goes, we got the call. And I'm like, oh shit, you're lying. And he's
literally,
like,
oh shit.
Unintended.
Right. And it, like, after I defended my belt, they literally asked me, they're like, all my friends, they're like, what do you think it'd be like getting signed? Blah, blah, blah. Do you go to an office? I'm like, and every guy I talked to, they're just like, nah, it was just casual. Like, they'll be eating pizza, they'll be doing some fat guy shit, and they'll get the call and they just look at the food and go, damn. So me, I finished teaching a class, I go take a dump, and I get the call while I'm on the shitter. And I go, I'm cutting weight. Why not? I'm ready already. So then they let me know. They're like, okay, you got the call now. We got to see if they accept. I'm like, perfect. When's the fight? Next week. And I go, okay, I can do it. And then day 1 passed, and I go, okay. No response yet. Day 2 passed. I go, do you guys know the fight's next week? Are you going to say yes, or like, let me know, man, because I'm staring at this food right now and I'm hungry. Okay, yeah. So if you're going to tell me, please, because they always wait until you throw away the good food and they're like, nah, never mind. And I'm like, bro, I just paid. Oh my God. So I was like, whatever. I threw away the good food, put everything away, and I'm like, whatever, I'll be ready. Fucking, they called back at night, next day, and they were like, this is the call. You got it. And I go, perfect. So the day you saw me, I already accepted the fight. We're already on the way. The guy accepted the fight, and I was just cornering my one of my proteges, I like to call him. He's a good kid, Quran Descender. But yeah, and from then on, I was just focused, running every day, bags, sweat, just torture. Your daily torture, essentially. And then we were ready. So it wasn't that. That's why, like, when, like, it was funny watching them miss weight. And like I said, I don't shit on people for missing weight, because you never know. The guy could have been sick a few days ago, whatever, or he could have just been bullshitting. I don't know. Not my problem. You lost 20% of your purse, and it went to me. So who doesn't need extra money?
Oh, jeez.
That was a perfect soundbite, actually, for it to cut.
Yeah.
That was funny.
So ridiculous. Let me just see if he comes back here. Hold on. There he is.
I feel like America's Most Wanted at this point, man. Jesus.
Jesus. Wait, what's happening? Are you just keep getting phone calls and stuff?
I think so, man. That's why I'm like, bro, no one ever wants to talk to me this much ever.
Taco, look, here's the thing, man. I know you were a new guy, like, you had your spot here in UFC, but like it was like a quick notice and all that. Dude, you're such a likable guy. You're such a personable guy. You're well spoken. You're friendly as heck. I can't wait for you to get the shine that you deserve. You know what I mean? And I'm really happy that you got that 4-fight contract that Raine is going to renegotiate for you this week. So,
yes, Raine.
Making that call right now.
Tell them my demands. I need my Jason mask. I need to be able to bring another prop at least.
Can you bring the Taco Man? Because I remember at UNF 13, you got the Taco Man.
Yes.
Inside. I remember that.
Yes, exactly. I need tacos as another bonus.
Yeah.
And I need guaranteed fight bonuses every time I finish. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Please. After
Taco,
that, I'll give them anything they need.
You're forgetting the most important thing. You need to negotiate that Raine Cruz announces you in every time.
Yes, Raine. You're going to have to give me the best yell ever. But only
there
me.
You go.
If you announce anyone else, I don't know how I felt about it.
Oh.
I'm only going to announce you. I'll be your personal cage announcer. There you go.
I love it.
We're going to go negotiate with it.
Taco, thank you so much, dude, for spending the time with us. I'm not going to keep you long. We got to get out of here too. But here's the thing. Once you come on the podcast, you're a friend of ours forever. And so we're going to expect you to come back before your next fight. We want to talk with you, see how things are going. Make sure you get a better cellular plan so that you don't keep disconnecting on us. But I do
Funny
have
enough, I'm actually working on that.
Are you?
Yeah.
Hey, man. Okay, before I ask you my last question, sponsorships now. Does this change your life? Does this, now you being a UFC fighter, will this parlay into better things for you that way?
Yeah, man. Obviously financially, I'm obviously gonna be making way better money. Mm-hmm. But I think the biggest thing, man, if I could be honest, is just my family, my friends, my community that know me. They know that I've been chasing this dream for 16 years now, man. And I think just showing them that, hey, man, the sky's the limit, man. Like, stay on your shit. Just keep working. Keep being diligent about it. I just saw this quote earlier. It said, once you figure out what you want, say no to everything else, man. And that's really the thing, man. Like, everything that's going to come with what I want, I've always wanted. It's like imagine you want to be at the party, the girls, blah blah blah. That when you were younger, that even though I don't really want all those things. Those things are there now. If anything, they're more plentiful now. Now that I'm a fighter and I've achieved my dream. But that's what I mean. Like the things that you really want will always show up when you go after what you really want. If you do all these side questing, man, don't be surprised when you get stuck doing side quests for the rest of your life, dude. So, yeah, guys, if I can say anything, stay on your shit, man. If you want it, get it. Be ready for whatever comes back at you because it's just testing to see how much you really want it. That's it.
Raine, he has said so many great motivational quotes that in my head, I'm like, I'm going to cut this thing for a clip. I'm going to cut this thing for a post. You've said so many good things, dude. I love it. Taco, you made mention a little bit about the ladies. Are you a married man? Do you have a girlfriend? What's your deal?
I'm not a married man. I do have a girlfriend.
Okay.
I think marriage is one of those things you probably want to take your time and save, man. It's not I don't see it as something that you want to just throw out there. Even if you be with someone for a while, I like for some reason every time I see someone get married and there's like I'm like congratulations, all that, and then it's like a year later, yeah, we're getting a divorce. I'm like, why then?
Yeah.
So I don't like the label thing, man. I don't really like I just don't like it. I don't like having to I feel like when people get labeled something, they kind of take it too much to the head. And then they like, you're married to me. You got to do this. I'm like, bro, I was with you before. Why does being married to you make anything more? If I like you, I'm going to be with you. If I don't like you, I'm not going to be with you. That's it. Yeah. So why do I got to be like, oh, I don't like you no more? Now I got to go sign this contract. I got to give up half of this, half of that, and this to not like you anymore? Nah, you can miss me with that. You won't get me that way, marital system. Not this
Taco,
time.
The only reason I brought it up is because Raine and I are putting together a reality MMA/dating show.
Ooh,
when we get this thing launched, if you're not in a committed relationship, are you going to be on our MMA/dating show?
You know what, man? I deal with enough women with daddy issues, man. I don't know if I'm ready to go down that one again, man. Imagine all these daddy issues, drug issues. What's the other one? When you can't be alone. All them issues,
separation
man.
anxiety.
There you go. Fighters are the worst with it because they have it the worst and they're aggressive.
All right.
Hey, I will be a producer though. I will stand in the back and be like, I think they have the most issues. Let's take them.
All right. I got you. Taco, last question I'm going to ask you, my friend. Thank you so much again for staying.
No
last question. It's a question that my mom used to ask me almost every day of my life growing up, so I want to ask it to you. I'm very interested in your answer. On a scale of 1 to 10, Chris Taco Padilla, how happy are you?
Man, that's a deep question, my friend. I will say I would say I'm a 10, but also I think I'm sincerely happy. I just, just not happy all the time, but I think I do have a good amount of sincere happiness to myself. And I actually just told my friend this. I think for once in my life, I can honestly look at myself and kind of just say I'm proud of myself. I don't think that's something I've ever been able to tell myself for a long time. And for once after my fight, and it wasn't so much of winning, because I think I would have been proud of myself winning or losing. I think it was just seeing that I was able to stay committed, man, through all the dark times, and I was able to stay committed. I think that's the thing that makes me the happiest.
I love it, Raine. Anytime we ask someone the question and they sit there and pause for a second and makes them think, I know that we're going to get a solid gold answer. And Taco, I really like your answer. No one's ever said about being proud of themselves as a form of happiness. We've been asking this question for months and months and months. So every week we're asking at least one person that question. I really like your answer, man. Just know that Raine is super proud of you. I am super proud of you. Your family is super proud of you. All your new fans are super proud of you, my friend. Congratulations on a wonderful start to your UFC career. Can't wait to see where it goes next. Raine will be renegotiating her contract in right after this podcast. And I can't wait to see what's next for you, my friend. So thank you so much for joining the podcast. Thanks for spending the time. We really appreciate it with all the glitches. Good luck on the new cell phone plan. Work on that. And we'll see you very soon. When do you want to fight again? When, how long? Oh, you called the guy out. You want the sphere.
Mm-hmm. That would be cool. Mexican Independence Day, right?
Yeah. That would be lovely.
Dude,
you know, man, I think the biggest things and not that I don't have fans everywhere, is just I noticed what I learned from like marketing and all those things, man, is that you got fans all over the world, but there's a concentration of your fans, you know? Mm-hmm. And I believe my fans would love to tune in the Independence Day. And, you know, I want to speak to a certain audience. And I think that's my audience right there. I don't need to win everybody over. I need to win my audience over, and whoever else wants to hop on and enjoy the taco show, come. But I don't need everybody, man. So I think that'd be a big day, man. And like I said, two Mexican fighters going at it, man. What's better than that?
I love it. And hold on, just because, you know, for people that are new to you, you're 100% Mexican?
Half Mexican. On my mom's side, which I've just found out recently, I'm Cameroonian and Indian.
Dang.
Yeah.
You do have a very interesting look. Like, that's why. Like, I'm like, I know he's half of something, but
yep.
And hair too.
You know, I think the trouble is sometimes growing up, because we're labeled as like black people forget that black people are like there's multidimensionalness to being black, you know? And then when you start looking, you go, well, these black people look different than each other. And then you start going, and then you talk to great grandpas and stuff like that. Then you go, oh, okay, that makes more sense. So on my black side, I'm Cameroonian and Indian, but on my dad's side, Mexican.
Oh,
there
wow.
you go. All right.
And
so it all makes sense.
Okay.
We're putting it
makes
all
sense
together.
why I'm so oddly put together.
Hey, man, it's what makes you unique, Taco. Thank you for joining the podcast. Thanks you for joining the podcast, my friend. We will see you very soon. Good luck to you. Good luck in everything. And again, we will talk to you very soon before your fight at the Sphere.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all.
All right, buddy. Have a good one.
Proud of you, Taco.
Thank you, Raine. Love y'all. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you too.
Bye-bye. This guy's the greatest, Raine.
He's amazing.
I really like him. Thank you so much, Raine, for figuring this out and for getting him on the podcast.
Yeah.
That dude is crazy. He's a star.
I
like anybody that saw him fight, anybody that sees him here on this podcast knows that this dude is a star. His personality is going to take him places. And what a good attitude and personality. Raine, I love him. I love him. Thank you so much for bringing him in.
He's amazing. And honestly, it's like the fact it was crazy, like watching his fight, right? Because, you know, when he was saying, you know, he's been doing this for 16 years and there's a lot of ups and downs. And sometimes, you know, for someone like him chasing his dream, like for us who are chasing our dreams, sometimes you question, like, when is it going to happen? When am I going to get the call? And then you see someone, accomplish their dream, right? And someone like Taco, it's very inspiring, you know, especially for someone that, you know, like I remember just watching his fight, seeing him take pictures with his coach afterwards. I was just like in awe, because it's like, oh my God, like this person that I know accomplished his dream. He made it. And to me, that kind of like put like some more light in my heart that, you know what, whatever I dream of, you know, what I want to accomplish in life, it's going to happen too, because look at him. I know him and it happened to him.
I know. We're so happy when we see good things happen to good people, and good people that we know, because you know how deserving they are of it. Raine, we're way past time. I'm going to have to glitch out some of the parts of the podcast delete. So I know you've got to go. Guys, thank you so much for watching the podcast. Thank you to RageWorksNetwork.com. Go to RageWorksNetwork.com to see other podcast networks like ours on their audio network. Thank you so much to everybody for watching the show. Raine, thank you so much. And we will see you next week with Mark Bowden, the world's #1 body language expert. We will figure out how to talk and how to better engage our audience.
I love that.
Thank you. I've been working on it. Goodbye, Raine.
Me too.
See you. Bye.
Attention all Starfleet personnel. New York's only fan-run Star Trek convention, Trek Long Island, is back this summer. Get ready for 3 days of sci-fi fun celebrating your favorite franchise in the Empire State. Meet the stars from Trek shows spanning different eras, including Melissa Navia and Yetidi Badaki from Strange New Worlds, Gabrielle Ruiz from Lower Decks, Armin Shimmerman, Chase Masterson, J.G. Hertzler, and Kitty Swink from DS9, Ethan Phillips from Voyager, Janet Kidder, Tara Rosling, Conrad Coates, and Elias Defexis from Discovery, and many more, including celebrities who haven't been at a Star Trek convention in years, like Clyde Kasatsu, Natalia Nogalich, and Daphne Ashbrook. Come meet your fellow fans. Take in a panel with your favorite podcasters. Enjoy Dinner with the Stars, featuring live musical performances. Meet authors, artists, and musicians, and so many more during this epic 3-day event brought to you by the talented and inclusive community that makes Star Trek go at warp speed. Trek Long Island takes place from May 31st to June 2nd at the Hyatt Regency Hotel in Hauppauge, New York. Visit treklongisland.com for tickets, exclusive packages, and more information. Trek Long Island, going kindly this summer.